Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Dr. Camp signing on. I am so glad to see you guys today. I wanted to share some information with you guys today about apologizing. I have a little cold, so I sound a little stuffy. But I was thinking, how did I get a cold? I got a mask on, but I slept one day with the ear right directly on me, so now I got a cold. so I listen to a lot of motivational videos, and that's matter of fact, that's why I make so many videos, because I use those videos to inspire me and to encourage me and to get me through my day. And when I'm going through something, I can just tap in, what I'm going through, and somebody always been through what I went through. So I come on here to encourage you guys in the same way that I'm being encouraged. So today I was listening to a couple of YouTubes, and it was talking about apologizing, not directly but indirectly, but that's what I got out of it, about apologizing and how important it is to apologize. And the fact of the matter is that many people do not apologize anymore. I don't know what happened, but people do not say they're sorry anymore. At least in my circle, people are not saying they're sorry, or they're not owning up to doing things to you. And then I had to look at myself. How many times do I apologize? Do I apologize a lot? And then the other factor about apologizing is most people don't tell you when you did something to them. They don't say anything. They just walk away, or they tell somebody else, but they never say anything to you. So you walk around with these broken relationships that you don't even know that you broke, because they never came to you to say, hey, you offended me. Hey, I don't like what you said. I don't like how you treated me. I don't like how you treated somebody that I know. Or, people are not speaking up. So many relationships are broken because people are not willing to tell you when you offended them. They just leave you alone. They don't say anything. They don't try to reconcile the relationship. And here's one of the reasons why I think people don't do that is because I'm speaking for myself. Because sometimes when you tell people that they bothered you or they said something to offend you, it escalates. Sometimes there's a denial. Sometimes the person say they didn't do it, or so that's two. And the third thing is people sometimes then they leave you alone because you are calling them on their stuff. So however, if you want to be in a healthy relationship, you have to speak up. You have to say, hey, you offended me. You have to reach out to the person and say, hey, what's going on? I haven't talked to you in a while. Did I do something to offend you? And the other party has to be willing to say, yeah, you did offend me. I don't like your attitude. I don't like how you have been talking to me. I don't like the fact that there's not reciprocity in this relationship. I don't like that. So therefore, I stopped. I just distanced myself for a moment. And is it okay for the person to distance themselves? Well, it depends on the person. Some people distance themselves because they are going to really say something to harm you. So they have to get somebody else's opinion, like, how do I handle this relationship? How do I handle this conversation? Other people distance themselves because they just straight up don't want to deal with you. They that is their defense mechanism. When they get hurt, they run and hide. So and I'm not knocking either one, but I'm saying these are reasons why I have myself been in situations where I may have distanced myself. I used to call myself the runner. I used to run. Like, every time somebody would get on my nerves, I'll give me a new friend. I'll get a new relationship, and I would just literally, be out their life for months, But I still would deal with them, but I wouldn't let them too close to me anymore. And so the problem with that was that I never did tell them that they bother me. So it wasn't the fact that I put them in another seat. I always call it, you got row 1, 2, and 3 seats in my life. Sometimes you on row 1, and then you may do something and you might be on row 3, or on row 5. But the problem I was experiencing was I didn't tell the person that they bothered me. I didn't tell the person that they did anything, which didn't leave them the opportunity to make it right or to defend themselves, because it was an assumption on my part. And then the second thing is I really was hurt, but since I did not go to the person and say anything, I didn't allow the relationship to grow. So if you want your relationship to grow, and you want to be friends, have friends. And I love friendship. I had one of my clients ask me the other day, why do you love friendship so much? Because when I was younger, my childhood wasn't like all of us, was a little, iffy. So whenever something happened in my life, I would run to my friend's house. I would go to my girlfriend's houses, and their mothers love me. They took me in as their daughters. Unfortunately, some of the relationships I do not no longer have, but the mothers still love me. But the friendships, they different. We have different relationships now. But I would run to those houses, and they would, they would just embrace me. They were there for me. That was my shelter. That was my refuge. I didn't know God at the time. I didn't have a relationship with God. I just had friends. So that's why I love friendship so much, because that was my refuge. That was where I went when I was in trouble, and they were always there for me. Their parents was always there for me. My girlfriends would always listen to my crazy stories, and they was just always there, and they always understood me. They was like, "Oh my God, what happened? Girl, you better stay the night over here tonight." And I would stay the night, and then when they went on trips, I would go on trips with them. It was just like, so that's why I love friendship so much, and that's why I fight so hard for relationships, because I would love to say I have been the best friend ever. I would love to say I never made any mistakes in my relationships. I would love to be able to claim that, but unfortunately I can't. And that's why I'm on here now, to be able to tell you how important it is to apologize, because at some point I wasn't apologetic, but when I became a believer, I learned to apologize, that how important it was to forgive, and then I was apologizing too much. So I went from not apologizing to apologizing way too much, because people began to use that against me. Like, oh, they knew I was going to apologize, so they would just wait for me to come with my apology, and then they would never apologize back to me. So as I grew in God, my relationship, in my reading, in my maturity, I learned that, hey, you also owe me an apology. This is reciprocity. And you've done things to me. This is the reason why I'm in this place with you right now, because you've offended me. And you never said you were sorry. And as a result, I don't feel like I would like to continue talking to you at the same intimate level. So now you are now in row 3. I can't confide in you because you wounded me and you're not sorry about it. And in a healthy relationship, we should talk about this. We should examine why you're talking to me like this, why you treat me this way. How come you and then one thing I used to have a problem with, this is crazy right here, but I used to go support people all the time. I like to support people. It's a big deal to me. I'm a big time supporter. I like to support. And however, people that I was supporting was no longer supporting me. Like I was going to all their events, but they wouldn't come to my events. They was always busy, or they would say they can't do it, or they just didn't show up. My birthday would come, they wouldn't say happy birthday to me. I would blast them on Facebook and say all this stuff to them on Facebook. They would never put me on Facebook. They never put my picture up. They never did anything. And you probably was like, she's so petty, but I'm telling you, that bothered me, because it wasn't reciprocity. You wasn't treating me equally like I treat you. And so I just was like so wounded and hurt about that. And I was like, oh my gosh, they don't love me like I love them. And I learned that it's important to have reciprocity in your relationship. It's important for people to love you the way you want to be loved. It's important for people to respect you the way you respect them. And if they don't get rid of them. Maya Angelou has a quote that I love, and she said, when people show you who they are, believe them. And I added, but don't leave them. Because if you see somebody for who they are, and you say, oh, well, now I know who you are, well, guess what? They're going to find out who you are too. You got issues. You got things in your life that people are going to find out. You want people leaving you? No. So what you do is you learn to live with that person in the state they are. And so, like I was saying, a couple people weren't reciprocating me. They wasn't giving me the same thing back. So I just start accepting the relationship for the way it is. They're not going to be that friend to me. They're not going to love me like I love them. So to keep myself healthy, I had to end up allowing the relationship to accepting it, that this is just a friend. This is just an old friend. This is just somebody I can talk to when I see. This is a friend that I can't expect reciprocity from. They're not going to give it to me. And I had to just accept that relationship the way it is. And then I began to pray and ask God to give me a friend that will do that. Give me somebody in my life that will apologize to me. Somebody in my life that would care about how I feel. Somebody in my life that does care about not seeing me for a long period of time. How can you not talk to somebody for a months and you call them a friend? You can't. You can't call that person a friend. You call that person an associate. And so I asked God, I told one of my friends, I said, listen, I got a sign out. I'm taking resumes for friendships. I'm taking resumes for friendship because friendships are important to me. And God has been sending people in my life that is treating me equally and that will apologize to me. That care about how I feel, that show up to my events, that if they can't come, they let me know how important it is that they wish they was there, that, that really just yell out how much they care about me, and that's important. So as I'm matured, I stop allowing people to just treat me any kind of way by not apologizing to me, not caring about how I feel, especially after I told you that bothers me and you keep doing it. That's not a friend. You won't even apologize to me. You only see what you think I've done to you. And if I apologize to you about what you said I did, then you should apologize to me, because trust me, you've done things to me too, but you never apologize. So one of the things that I've learned to do is to apologize. And the apology is important. It's humbling. Apology is very humbling. You have to see your own weaknesses. You have to see that you've done something to somebody. And that's not easy. But if you want healthy relationships, then you must apologize to people. Stop leaving relationships. You'll never get anywhere if you keep walking away. I had to learn that. Like I said, I was a runner. I was like, oh, I'm out. I can make another friend. No, you're going to stay in my life, but you made a decision as to where you sit. I didn't. So, apologize. If you have somebody in your life that you owe an apology to, apologize. And they don't apologize back to you for what their part in it, because it's always two parts. Always. When there's an apology, there's more than likely both sides need to apologize. I had one relationship where I apologized to them, and they treated me, when they felt like I did something wrong to them, they treated me so bad. And I let them like an idiot. I did, because it was like in the name of friendship. I was like, they was like saying all kind of nasty stuff to me. Their behavior was unchristian-like. It was not Christian-like. They're Christians. Don't get me wrong. They're Christian. They love the Lord, but they allowed the pain of what they perceived I did to them. And they never told me. They never told me what I did to them. The Lord wound up telling me exactly what I did to them, and I apologized. And after I apologized to the person, then I had to deal with how much they wounded me, with all the stuff they did to me. And I said it to the person. They never apologized. That's not friendship. That's not a relationship that you want to have. You do not want that. So we okay, like we're long lost friends, and I'll say hi, they'll say hi, but it'll never ever be intimate, because they won't apologize for what they did to me. And the things that I did to them, I didn't even know I did. They didn't even give me an opportunity to say I was sorry. I didn't know. I had no idea I did that stuff to them. Their perception of what I did to them, it was a perception, and I respected their perception, and I apologized based on a perception. So, because the Lord was teaching me how to apologize to someone based on their perception of what happened, because sometimes it's not what is you did. That was not my intention. I did not set out to hurt anybody, but they perceived me to be trying to hurt them, and I wasn't. I just didn't know that I didn't understand all their whole process. And when the Lord told me, I apologized, and they never apologized back. No reciprocity. So we have to apologize to people, whether they're going to apologize back to us or not. But once you apologize and they do not feel like they've done anything wrong to you, then that's not somebody you want in your front row seat. You don't want that person too close to you, because they're going to keep doing the same thing to you over and over and over again. And until a person see their faults and see what they done wrong to you. Now, I will never do to that person what they said I did, with the perception and what the Lord, what I was able to see through the Lord's eyes. I will never do that to them again, because now I know that's what I did. That's what they perceived me to do. So now I understand, that's what you was mad at. Oh, then I'll never do that again. I didn't know that you was mad about that. I had no idea. So I would never do that again. But if they're not apologizing back to me about their part after they was angry, because when people get mad at you, they say mean things to you. They treat you mean. They shun you. They talk about you to other people. They make other people not like you too. That stuff is mean too. So it was like whatever they thought I did to them, what they was doing to me was even worse than what I was like, I don't even know what's hitting me right now. So when people do that and you apologize and you decide to be back in that relationship, then you have to not allow them as close in seat 1, 2, and 3, because they're going to keep doing it to you. They're going to keep doing the same thing to you because they didn't apologize. So I hope like my examples are clear about how to apologize and how to respond after you apologize. It's a two-way street in most cases. Some cases you just did somebody dirty, and you just be like, I'm sorry. I go do that again. And sometimes it's like that. You just do people just dirty. You're like, dang, I don't believe I did that myself. Then just apologize, move on. Don't do it again. But if it's a two-way street, then you look for reciprocity. If the person is not willing to apologize back to you for the things that they did too, and I had to learn that. It is healthy. It is very healthy that both people hold up and become accountable to what happened in that disagreement, in that relationship. If it's not, that is not a relationship. It's not. It's a one-man show. And I had to learn that. And as a result, the Lord has sent, and those people are still in my life. Don't get me wrong. I love them. I love them dearly. I love them. I would never leave those relationships. But I can't, they can't ever be the same. They can't ever be the same. It won't ever be the same in a relationship. But they will always be in my life. Especially because I love them dearly. And I believe they love me too. Sometimes people, my mothers always say, y'all outgrown each other. And sometimes one person grow and they see things in a different way than the other person grow. They might see something differently. And as a result, the relationship becomes a little out of balance. And you have to just allow for time to help y'all meet back up at some point of your life